So 8:30 to 9:30 a.m. is guided meditation and Dhamma reflections, and then 9:30 to 11 is the sitting and walking meditation. So probably the way we can do it is at 9:30, I'll ring the bell and I will go out and do walking meditation and do that for 45 minutes. And then I will come in and sit for 45 minutes, and then it will be time for a meal. However, that being said, if some of you like to keep sitting, you can keep sitting. You don't have to go and do the walking. And because I will explain during this instruction period how to do sitting and walking meditation. First of all, not to worry if the mind doesn't get peaceful. Not to worry if we feel tired. Not to worry if we feel kind of low energy, because remembering we just have sati. We just have sati, that we rutawa, we know ourselves. So we're not trying to do anything that special, just to know what's happening. But it's important to tell ourselves, mai tong ben huang, don't have to worry. Mai tong gang mon, mai tong ben huang. That's very important. And one of the students of Luang Por Cha, Luang Por Liam, he talks about when you practice, there's no worries. You get to the point where there's no more worries. We're not worried about anything. We're not worried about getting it right. We're not worried about doing it properly. We just practice for the sake of the practice. Luang Por Liam got to a point where he asked himself, why am I practicing? Patibat tammai patibat phua alai. And then the answer came to him is patibat phua patibat. Patibat phua patibat. We practice for the sake of the practice. That's all. So we just practice. We don't think about the past or the future. The Buddha talked about this a lot. The Buddha is really amazing. The Buddha talked about all of these things. The Buddha explained all of this for us already. So the Buddha said, how does a monk attend unwisely? How does a practitioner attend unwisely? A monk attends unwisely thus. Who was I in the past? How was I in the past? What was I in the past? Having been what did I become in the past? How was I in the past? Or they attend unwisely. They attend without wisdom. How will I be in the future? Who will I be in the future? What will I become in the future? How will I be in the future? So that's not, we want to not do that. Or they attend without wisdom, not having wisdom. Mai panya. They will attend like this. Who am I now? How am I now? What am I now? Having been what now? What will I become? What will become of me? Who am I? How am I? What am I? Yeah. What do people think about me? What do I think about myself? So this is likeไม่มีปัญญาจะคิดอย่างนั้น But we don't have to worry. If we think like this, it's okay because everybody's doing it. Even the monks. Am I a good monk? Am I a bad monk? We will think like this also. But all of these thoughts are with atta. So how do we attend properly? How do we do it right? How do we practice? The way we do it is we see according to Arya Satsi, the Four Noble Truths. And this is how we do it. We use sati, and we see what is in the mind. And then we see, is it suffering or not suffering? Is it dukkha or not dukkha? So when we see like that, that's called attending wisely. That's called yoniso manasikara, or in Thai, yoniso manasikan. Yeah. So that's wise attention, attending properly. And everything that arises and passes away in the mind, it's just like watching a movie. Like it just comes and goes. We don't need to get involved with it. We don't need to get involved with, oh, I just had a good thought. Oh, I just had a bad thought. We don't need to worry, because if we think like that, if we think, oh, I just had a good thought. Oh, I just had a bad thought. Oh, there's another bad thought. Oh, and there's a kilate. If we think like that, we will be very worried. But if we think, there I had anger and that was dukkha, then we're attending properly. Or there I was generous, and that was sukha, mikwam suk. Then we know it was good, it was skillful. But it's not very easy. The mind is very quick. The mind changes very fast. So we will not be able to see it at first. That's why we have to keep practicing. When we sit in meditation, if the mind is fungsan, if it's going all over the place, one good technique is just to count. And if we're not able to stay with Buddho and we're not able to stay with the breath, we can do a counting method. And this is something I like to use myself. And it's just when we breathe in, we count in our mind 1, breathing out 1, breathing in 2, breathing out 2, breathing in 3, and breathing out 3. And if we lose count, so if we forget what number we are at, then we start over at 1. And we do that until we can get to 21. And when we get to 21, sometimes the counting can become automatic, so we don't lose the counting, but we get to 21, and then we go to 22, 22, 23, 23. And then we remember, oh, I was only supposed to go to 21. That's good enough. That means our mind also start wandering. So if we go beyond 21, we can stop and start again at breathing in 1, breathing out 1, breathing in 2, breathing out 2, and so on. And then when we get to 21, we can stop and breathing in Buddho, breathing out Buddho, breathing in Buddho, breathing out Buddho. And so when we breathe in, we say to ourselves Buddho, and when we breathe out, we say in our mind, Buddho. So it's breathing in, Buddho, breathing out, Buddho, breathing in, Buddho, breathing out, Buddho. And then if the mind starts to get a little bit more peaceful and the mind starts to settle, then we can do breathing in, Put, breathing out, To. Breathing in, Put, breathing out, To. And so we do it in stages. So at first, Buddho is faster, and then later we slow it down. But if we go too slow at first, then the mind, it might start thinking about whatever we like to think about. Yeah. And once we do breathing in, Put, breathing out, To, then if the mind settles more, then it will be very natural to let go of the word and just focus on the sensation of the breath coming in, the breath going out. It doesn't really matter where you focus on it. It could be at the nose. I like to use the breath at the nostrils, the cool air coming in, the warm air going out. Some people like to focus on the sensation at the stomach. That's good too. If our mind is having trouble with that, we can, breathing in, notice the breath at the nostrils, then at the back of the throat, and then the stomach, and then follow it back out. Breathing out, stomach, throat, nostrils, stomach, throat, nose. So breathing in, nose, throat, stomach. Breathing out, stomach, throat, nose. That's something that Luang Por Buddha Tat would teach. So that's also a very good way to practice. If our mind thinks a lot, if our mind is more active, we need to engage it with some sort of practice like that. Because we can't let go of everything right away. We have to let go of it little by little. Let go in stages. So sometimes for myself, because I have a mind that likes to think a lot, then the quicker Buddho is more useful for me. So breathing in Buddho, breathing out Buddho. That's the one I like to use for myself. Because sometimes my breath gets slower too. As we get more peaceful, the breath gets slower. And if I do breathing in Bud, breathing out To, it's a little bit too slow. So I prefer breathing in Buddho, breathing out Buddho. When we do this practice of sitting meditation, we also try to have the body be a little bit more relaxed. We don't want to be like totally slumped over. Yeah. Sometimes we see the picture of Kruba Ajahn and they're very like slumped over. But we have to understand that most pictures of Kruba Ajahns is when they're old. We don't see the picture of them when they're young. So I know the picture of Luang Pu Sao, he's very slumped over, like he's very like, so we might think, oh, we should sit like that. That's how we're supposed to sit. But that's Luang Pu Sao when he's older. But you see the picture of Luang Pu Man, he's even though he's older, he's still very straight up, very upright. Luang Por Cha as well. Even in their old age, they were still sitting quite upright. And the Buddha taught about that as well. He said, Ujung Kayang Panidhaya, which means sitting upright. Uju is straight. Uju Patipano, those who have practiced in the straight way, the direct way, straightforwardly. Uju. So uju, the Buddha uses this word uju. Ujung kayang is the body straight, making the body straight, but not tense. So we want to be, straight like this, but then not so tense that we hurt ourselves. I know a layman in America. I met a layman who was practicing at a Mahayana monastery, and they put a lot of effort into their posture, into having good posture. But he misunderstood, and he was so tense. And he actually, when he was meditating, he tried to be as tense as possible, and he actually broke his back. He was so tense, he actually broke his back while he was meditating, and he could feel the spinal fluid going into his body. And fortunately, he was not paralyzed, but I believe they had to take him to the hospital. So we don't want that to happen. I don't think that's going to happen here. I think most of us are not that tense. That's the most extreme you could imagine. So we want upright, but not uptight. Upright, not uptight. So relaxed, upright, relaxed. Sati is alert, yet relaxed at the same time. Awake and also peaceful. Peaceful and awake at the same time. So it's like finding a balance. Sometimes also, if the mind is thinking a lot, then it's good to do some deep breathing. Luang Por Cha talked about this. He said, take 3 deep breaths. If your mind is thinking a lot and you want to try to cut off there's too many distracted thoughts, you want to try to put a stop to it. Luang Por Cha talked about breathing in as deeply as you can till you feel like your lungs are going to burst, and breathing out all of the air, just getting all of the air out, doing that 3 times can help. That can also be a skillful means if we have strong defilement, strong mental state, like strong anger. Sometimes if we have strong anger and our body starts kind of shaking, we can deeply breathe in and we can dispel that. We call it Thai klai arom, pon klai, just disband it, just let it go, let it die, let it pass away. So deep breathing can help with that as a technique. When we do walking meditation, we can also use the same techniques. When we do walking meditation, we choose a path, normally between 20 and 25 steps. Some people will prefer to do longer, maybe 30 steps. Some people like shorter. Some people like to do like the Buddha did after his enlightenment. He walked back and forth. In the 3rd week after his enlightenment, it's said that he walked back and forth near the Bodhi tree at what we now call the Ratana Chongkrom Chedi in Bodh Gaya, that he walked 17 steps. So some people will prefer to walk 17 steps as Buddhanusati. Luang Pu Man praised walking in an east and west direction. And I don't know exactly why that is, but that is the direction that the Buddha walked. So it could be also Buddhanusati, that you walk in east-west. So when the Buddha sat and attained enlightenment, attained awakening, he was facing east. And when the Buddha walked in that third week after the enlightenment, then he was walking east and west, walking 17 steps back and forth. However, for most people, that's a little bit too short. Most people will prefer and gain benefit from between 20 and 25 steps. For myself, 22, 23 steps is quite good. Sometimes 25. I also, my walking meditation path in America is about 25. Some people will prefer to walk fast. Some people will prefer to walk medium. Some people will prefer to walk more slowly. Luang Por Cha himself would walk fast. He would walk quite fast. People would see him walking quickly on his walking meditation path, on his Jongkrom. They see him walking fast. And they would ask him, Luang Po, why do you walk fast? And he said that's what helps him become peaceful. So for some people, walking fast will help you to become more peaceful. For some people, walking slowly will help to become more peaceful. And for some people, walking at the normal pace will be of the most benefit. For myself, I like the teaching of walking just slightly slower than we walk in normal everyday life. So we walk like our normal pace, but a little bit slower. For myself, I haven't gained benefit from walking extremely slow. I know in the Japanese tradition, sometimes they do Kinrin, which is the Zen walking meditation. It's like really, really slow. Lifting, down, stepping. For myself, I did try that, but I never gained benefit from it. I found when I walk a little bit slower than how I would normally walk in everyday life, I found some benefit, because then I was able to see that the sati, I could carry it over into everyday life. It wasn't just when I was meditating. I could be walking up the trail at Abhayagiri and still be Buddho, 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 Buddho. So normally when we do the walking meditation, with the right foot, Bud, with the left foot, toe, right foot, Bud, left foot, toe. If that doesn't help us, if our mind is still thinking a lot, then we can do right foot, Buddho, left foot, Buddho, right foot, Buddho, left foot, Buddho. Mentally reciting Buddho as we're doing walking. That way, the sitting meditation and the walking meditation, they are connected with Buddho. So if we do right foot Bud, left foot toe, right foot Bud, left foot toe, we get to the end of the walking meditation path. Turn around, wait for 1 or 2 seconds, and then right foot Bud, left foot toe. Now, if we are halfway down our walking meditation path and we do left foot Bud, oh wait, that shows us that our mind wandered. Then we stop and we start with the right foot Bud, left foot toe. If it becomes opposite, it means our mind started wandering, and we can stop, reestablish Right foot boot, left foot toe. That's the basic method of walking meditation. There are many other things we could do during walking meditation. Walking meditation is a very wonderful practice, and it's good to do a lot of walking meditation. The Buddha spoke in praise of walking meditation. Not only is it good for, because your eyes are open, it's good for mindfulness, good for sati, but also the Buddha said that it's good for your health to do walking meditation, good for the digestion, and that when you do walking meditation, you train yourself to be able to walk on a long journey. If you're going to walk on Tudong, you can prepare yourself for Tudong by doing a lot of walking meditation. And some of the great Ajahns, Longpo Put is a prime example of someone who did a lot of walking meditation. He was known to do walking meditation up to 16 hours in one day, almost only doing walking meditation and not much sitting meditation. So that's a valid way to practice as well. Another benefit of walking meditation is the Buddha says that any samadhi you get while doing walking meditation lasts for a long time. It lasts for a long time. So it's very good practice to do the walking meditation and then do the sitting. The walking meditation can help with our helping to keep the mindfulness, helping to stay awake, helping to digest the food. And then when we sit, the mind is brighter. And remembering that the speed that we walk in meditation is up to us. We might be like Luang Por Chah and like to walk fast. If we find that walking fast helps us to make the mind peaceful, then that's the way we should be walking. If we find that walking slow is more helpful, that's the way we should be walking. It's not going to be the same for everybody. Yeah. Everybody has to find their own way, but we give these ideas and suggestions. If we try out a practice, it's good to try it out at least for a few days. Then we will know if it works or not. So we can continue sitting in meditation here for another 30 minutes, and I will ring the bell, and then we can change postures to walking meditation. So right now we will sit until 9:30.